reflection, it happens in a highly polished surface. That polished surface could be a mirror. This mirror, it reflects most of the light falling on it. Okay, because they are curved in their shape, so we call them as spherical mirrors. There are two surfaces, right? One is inward, the other is outward. Inward means it is made curved inside. Outward means it is bulged outside. First of all, I would like to give you this trick of this spoons. See, when you are taking some sweet with a spoon, the portion in which the sweet is occupied, this portion is curved inwards, right? It is curved inwards. So this is the reflecting surface for a concave mirror. You can take it as an example for concave mirror. And then the other side of the spoon, which you are not using, which is the bulged side, that is the reflective surface. Then this is an example of a convex mirror. For example, this is a concave mirror. Here outside portion is polished. Here it is gray and here it is black lines are there. It is polished. So light falls in the inside surface. So we call it as a reflective surface. So in a concave mirror, the image formed of the object is enlarged. Similarly, in a convex mirror, the polished surface is inside. The reflective surface is outside. Here image formed is smaller than that of the object. The word we used is diminished. Smaller means diminished. Bigger means we use the word enlarged. Sometimes we also use the word highly enlarged. So simple thing which you have to remember is wherever there is a polished surface, there light does not fall. That is not a reflective surface. The other part is the reflective surface. Spoon is the best example, I think. Okay. Now, there are some parts of these mirrors. There are certain parameters of the mirrors which we need to know. Until and unless we understand them, we cannot proceed. They are very important but still very basic. So, let's have a look at them. Here I have made two mirrors. This is a concave mirror and this is a convex mirror. Actually, these mirrors, they look like half circles, right? Complete these circles. Imagine that these are complete circles. Now, here this is reflective surface. This is a concave mirror. Now, this is reflective surface here, the outside one. This is a convex mirror. And then this is known as the linear aperture, whatever the space is there with the mirror. Now, the center on the surface of the mirror is known as pole, and the center of that imaginary circle is known as center of curvature, and then the line which crosses through the center of curvature is known as principal axis, and there is a point between the pole of the mirror and the center of curvature. This is known as principal focus, and the distance between the pole and the principal focus is known as focal length. Okay, and the distance between the center of curvature and the pole of the mirror is known as radius of curvature. Okay, these two are very important things. Radius of curvature, it is simply like the radius of the imaginary circle. When see, the center of curvature is the center of the circle, and focal length is half of the radius of curvature. So what will be the actual value of focal length? It will be equal to r upon 2. If center of curvature is denoted by capital R, then focal length of the spherical mirror will be equal to r upon 2. So this is a very important point here to note down. They can ask you one question based on this. I am expecting this type of a question this time. For example, there could be a 1 mark question. What is the relation between focal length and radius of curvature R of a curved mirror? So what will be the right option? R upon. There could be one more question, for example, like this. Find the focal length of a convex mirror whose radius of curvature is 32 centimeter. They have given you the radius of curvature. You have to find the focal length. Now you know that the focal length is equal to r upon 2. Just substitute and then you get the value. Okay, it is 32 upon 2, which is 16 centimeter.